Syfy's new supernatural drama, Haven, follows FBI agent Audrey Parker as she moves into the small town of Haven, Maine, and has to solve all sorts of strange mysteries. We're so happy to have actress Emily Rose with us today, who plays the star, Audrey Parker. Welcome, Emily. Great to see you.
It's good to be here.
So, very exciting. Congratulations on this new series. It sounds fantastic. It's based on a Stephen King novel, is that right? So we can expect lots of chills?
Yes, it's based on a little novella called The Colorado Kid, and pretty much what Stephen King does for us in that novel is kind of set up the place, this small town where kind of big mysteries occurred that nobody's ever really solved. And it's from that point that Haven kind of spins off into the supernatural and kind of a different layer of elements of what's going on.
Interesting. And that's where your character comes in, right? You're sent by the FBI to help solve this crime?
Yeah, the interesting thing about Audrey Parker that's different from other FBI agents is that she's an orphan. So she sort of has this mystery that she's never been able to solve about herself. And that drives her to be a better investigator, I think. She's always looking for it in the back of her mind. So she gets sent to Haven, Maine, to kind of look into this routine case, and it's there that a picture lands on her desk that might be connected to who she is, and that stops her world for a bit.
So we've got double layers of mysteries going on here.
Yeah.
Now we have a clip from the show that we're going to play, so let's take a look.
So you seriously can't feel pain?
It's called idiopathic neuropathy.
You really couldn't feel it when that car door hit your hand?
No.
Can you feel fire?
No.
Ice?
Oddly, yes, I can feel ice.
You can feel ice?
No. I can feel a headache coming on, though.
That's pretty funny. So he's a local police officer, is that right? And you have to start working together?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because he has a condition where he cannot feel physical pain or things. And so, you know, that's very interesting because Audrey's very much blocked off any kind of like emotional feeling.
Right.
And so I love that scene because it's kind of us circling one another, and mainly Audrey circling him to be like, so what's your deal? Do you really not feel pain? I mean, how much do you not feel pain? Doing her, you know, questioning thing to see if she can break him, but she can't. And so I think that's kind of what's, you know, makes her intrigued with Nathan the whole rest of the time.
And that character, Nathan, is played by Lucas Bryant.
Lucas Bryant. He's fantastic.
Fantastic chemistry. You guys obviously have some chemistry there. Is there a chance that there might be some romantic development between your characters?
You know, I think that when any show or storyline sort of serves up a leading man and a leading lady, there's that question. And I think what's so wonderful about the way that Jim and Sam write us is the banter, the way we finish each other's sentences, the way we sort of have operated in the same way. And we're used to being lone stars in our own kind of right. And so when we find each other, it's really interesting to watch. And so when that will happen for them, I don't know, but I think that the audience and I, you know, as we're watching it, will really want that to materialize.
Now, you mentioned the writers there.
Yes, Sam and Jim.
Do they work at all with Stephen King, or like is this completely separate from?
No, I mean, they have very much sought his approval and his input in the process, and even when I was auditioning for the part, he had to see my tape, and he has seen the pilot, and it was very much his push to add the layer of supernatural. It's almost like he took his world and was even saying, hey, let's add this to the mix. So he's very much involved in conversation, even though he's not on the day-to-day sort of development of it.
And speaking of the supernatural, we know it's just such a huge trend right now between Twilight and True Blood. Everyone is interested in the supernatural. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think that reality and sort of the mundane is, I mean, it's interesting, it's fascinating to observe people, but I do think that there is this obvious sort of pull that there could be something else out there. And I think what makes Haven different is that these superpowers or these supernatural things that are happening aren't necessarily, they're not purposeful from the characters. It's not that they're making these things happen. It may be occurring and they don't even understand why it's connected to themselves.
Right.
So that's really interesting because it's more of an emotional discovery instead of like a phenomenon.
Yeah,
you know?
Right. It's very character driven.
Yeah.
So you know, the last big role that we all saw you on was as Dr. Tracy Martin in ER.
She was so much fun to play. A doctor in Louboutin heels. I mean, you can't get better than that. Running those gurneys down the hall in my heels was, you know, a challenge. But it was so wonderful to work with, you know, Angela Bassett, and it was the last season, so it was all these people were coming back, and I just remember watching them on that show, watching the cast live in the world so well, just like it was old hat for them to be there. And I remember when I left that show really trying to solidify in my mind that any character that I played, if it was in an environment, I wanted them to feel at home there. So with Audrey, you'll see kind of little twitches and little things in her world that are definitely borrowed from my experience on ER.
It's interesting because both of those characters are strong women, rock stars in their own right. You know, so are you drawn to those sorts of women, female characters?
Yeah, but what's exciting to me is I think one of my bigger challenges when I got out of school was I didn't want to be typecast. You know, Tracy Martin very much falls into that category that I would be afraid of being typecast as. It's kind of that pretty blonde type of a thing. But it's neat because even with that character, I look at Audrey and I look at Tracy, and as much as they're strong women, they're also two very different people. So it's fun for me to see like the different, you know, deck of cards that I've been able to play is nice.
Well, Emily Rose, thank you so much for talking to us today, and congratulations on your new role. We can't wait to check it out, and you can check out Haven on the Syfy channel tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern. That's all the buzz we have for you today. I'm Tanya Rivero in New York. Thanks for watching.